Good afternoon, I'm Hannah.
I'm Colette.
I'm Morgan, and that is the habit clip.
The habit clip is a habit development device that allows anybody to develop a habit. It's easy and convenient to use, and the idea behind it is that it will buzz to remind you to complete your habit every day.
So Maxwell Maltz was a plastic surgeon, and he noticed a pattern in his patients. Whenever he did a nose job, for example, they would take 21 days to adapt to the new face. Also, whenever a patient had their limbs amputated, they would take 21 days to stop feeling a phantom limb. So Maltz took this discovery and found out that his own habits took about 21 days to develop. This product is useful to all ages because anyone who wants to develop a habit can use it. Also, it helps you develop responsibility.
So the first step to creating our project was diverging. So the three of us came up with 3 different and individual ideas. And one of our first ideas was to create a necklace or a bracelet that would be based on a specific schedule. So for example, it could be based on the Experimentory schedule, and a student would be reminded to attend an activity or go to a class, and they would be reminded by a buzz. But then we converged, and we decided that we wanted to make something with a more unisex design, and we also wanted to make it more convenient and interchangeable because we did not want it to be fixed on a rigid schedule.
So this is our first blueprint. As you can see, it is a necklace. And then, it's not unisex. And this is our second blueprint. But it was overcomplicated. It was an overcomplicated circuit diagram. And this is our third, simpler but much more effective circuit.
So our first prototype was extremely lacking in that the wires were constantly getting detached and the code didn't work at all. So upon Dr. Hills' advice, we soldered the wires to make it more stable, but we made the big mistake of soldering them on the wrong side of the circuit. So we had to completely rebuild it, and after that, we realized that the code still didn't work. So we took a closer look at the code in the circuit, and we noticed that most of the code was junk code used to preserve battery power, but that wasn't necessary for our product, and we deleted a lot of it and simplified the circuit, so now we have a much more lightweight and convenient clip.
So the materials we used are an Adafruit gemma, so it's like the base, and a vibrating MIDI disc motor that vibrates to the intervals set in the code, a battery to power the device, and a 3D printed shell to protect it. So how it works is you turn on the circuit, and the code will have a timer that starts, and when the timer ends, the motor will buzz and remind you.
So we're gonna demonstrate it really quickly.
So the clip is just a magnet, so I'm just going to clip it to my wrist right now like a watch. So basically, the code is set so it's an interval of 5 seconds, and it's going to buzz for 2 seconds. So I'm going to turn it on right now. Now it's buzzing, and you wait another 5 seconds.
code that we use for the demonstration, and the pad part that is naming the pin, there are 3 pins on this circuit, 0, 1, and 2, and for our circuit we use the number 1 pin, so we named it 1. And here it says that we're setting the pin to output, which means we're sending the electricity outwards. And the next line is a loop, which means it'll go over and over and over again infinitely until the battery drains. And it says that we're setting the pin 1 to high or on, so that's telling it to buzz. And delay is making it wait for 2,000 milliseconds or 2 seconds. And then it's turning the pin off or low. And after 5,000 milliseconds or 5 seconds, it goes back to the beginning and turns it on again.
So our work on this project was mainly collaborative, but I worked on the presentation, the design, and the video. Hannah worked on the presentation, coding, and wiring, and Morgan worked on the wiring, constructing, and the music for the video. So if we had more time to do this project, we would like to make it easier to change the intervals, because right now, if you want to edit the intervals and the on time, you have to change the code. We would also like to add a musical element to the device. So for example, it would play a note every time that it was to give a reminder, and by the end of the 21 days, it could play the whole tune of different notes. And we would also like to add text to the reminders to make it more specific and easy to read.
So we had many failures. One of them was the overcomplicated coding and wiring. Also, like Hannah said, we soldered all the wires on the wrong side of the base. And this shell is a bit too big for the actual Gemma, so yeah.
The good thing was that we were actually very quick to find out what was wrong, so we could easily fix it, and that made it easier for us to move on quickly. So when I first heard my group, I was actually really, really nervous about the project, and in my journal on the first day, I wrote, "My team is crazy, I'm nervous." But after working with them, I realized that we could set aside our differences, and I'm really proud of what we've accomplished together.
At the beginning, I thought our group was going to do really well, but then in the first few days, we had a major argument, and that was a really bad setback. But we got over it, and some days were unproductive because I was too distracted by my iPad and playing with GarageBand. But overall, we still collaborated really well, and I think we did great.
So our group had a lot of technical and emotional setbacks, and we were constantly arguing about things unrelated to the project. But I'm very proud and happy to say that I like what we did, and I'm really proud of it, and I hope to get a chance to work with them again.
Any questions?
Well, thank you.
Tim, did you have a question?
Would it be possible to have it, could you program more than one interval into it so that you have like 2 different times during the day, or?
You could, but that would add quite a few more lines of code. But it's possible.
Thank you.
Thank you.